Okay, so in this video, we are going through some of the other terminologies in the IT and computer science programming part. Okay, now when we are talking about syntax, which is the first topic in here, when you talk about syntax, syntax is basically the grammar of any language. Like suppose if you're using English, right, and you are constructing sentences based on the grammar of English. So that is like that actually is it is like it correlates to the syntax of a programming language. So it the syntax of a programming language will let you know like how you will construct your logic in that programming language, how you will write that programming language, that it will define it. Okay. Now, following those rules and regulations of how you like write that programming language, that is the syntax in itself. So, like I have written in here one line regarding that. It is like it is what you say is a set of rules in order to use tokens or words of a programming language. As an analogy, one could think it is as same as grammar of human communication, language such as English. So that is what I'm saying here. So it is something like it is what you say is set of rules. Okay, it is basically what it is what you say is set of rules in order to use tokens or words of a programming language. Okay, it is the set of rules. So it is the set of rules in which like you use tokens or words of a programming language. So tokens are like the most atomic form of a programming language. So suppose when you're talking about English language, the most atomic form of that English language is the letter themselves, right? Letters A, B, C, D. That is the most atomic form. Now, in here, there are tokens as the most atomic form of a programming language. Now, in case of now, let's move on to the another topic. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, which is the command. The command it is a unique instructions which is given to the computer to perform a task of a function. For example, print. Okay, so what does it mean? What does sentence mean? It is a unique instruction. So as I said before, like when you print in a computer, you do not actually like give a command to that. It is actually an instruction in the most basic sense, because the commands are basically what? The commands are basically zeros and ones, and like it is not like the commands are like print. But yeah, like in general sense, if we are not going into depth of the meaning of those words, we can say that yes, print is a command. So print is a unique instruction which is given to a computer to perform a function or function. Okay, so for example, the print function. So that is a command for the computer. Okay. Next thing which we need to learn is the integrated development environment. Okay, so the integrated development environment is basically a software application which is used to manage the source code while programming. Okay, so it is used to like manage the source code. Like it is also used to it helps us to manage the source code in such a way that we can program the source code in such a way that it will provide us stable compilation builds of compiled bits or stable interpreted programs which will not crash. So that is the integrated development environment. Okay, it is called like integrated because there are a lot of various developer tools that works with it, and that's why it is called integrated development environment, because it is not composed of only one developer tool, but rather it is composed of many developer tools. Okay, so something which I need to fix in this slide are two things. While I give you the example, I will show you these things as well. Okay. I'll show you these things as well. So, oh, there is a copy of this, right? Yes, I have to fix few things in this slide. Right. So first thing is I have to delete this, and the second thing is I have to fix this in here. Is I'm leaving an article. So now ID. As we were at ID. So let me show you an ID. Okay. So this is an ID. Okay. This thing in here is an ID. So you see that there is HTML code in here, right? There is an HTML code in here, and like let me close this. Let me close this. Okay, let me close this as well. Oops, did something wrong. Okay. Uh, Still Still malfunctioning. Let me see. Okay. So you see, there is a source code in here, and like this is the whole code. There are files in here as well, right? There are files in here as well. So this is basically an ID. Now you will see in here is that when you like this has one thing in here, like there is something like format document. Okay, there is something like format document. So now it formats a document according to the syntax it will have, right? Now when you do this, it formatted the document and it made changes in here, right? So it is helping us to like manage the code in here, right? It is helping us to manage the code in here. Now it also help us to like track whatever you have done in your in your in your code base. Okay, so let's see if like if I say get status in here, so I see changes in here, right? I see changes in here. So let's see if I say like if I like want to like sign off this changes in my VCS. VCS is like version control system of a code. Okay, so if I want to change this, if you want to like track these changes, then I could like track these changes as well with this ID. Okay, so let's say format code of binaural beats generate. Yeah, right. And then this. Now, whatever changes I did, I could look at the changes as well, right? I could look at the changes as well. So see, whatever I have removed and whatever I have added, it is like written in this. Okay. So whatever I removed and whatever I added, it is written in this. So whatever is in the red mark, I have removed, and whatever is in the green mark, I have added those things. Okay. So that is one thing. Now, see, I was using this command, right? Git log hyphen p. Right? I was using this command to like see the changes. Okay, and I also like use this previous command to like sign off these changes and record these changes. So as I said, that integrated development environment or the IDE is actually made up of a lot of things. Like it is made up of multiple developer tools. So you see this thing in here, this version control system in here, you could get this in separately as well. So if I like type in terminal in here, okay, I get a terminal in here as well. The same as like this, the one which is like included in this ID. Okay, and like if I say like go to the same folder which that ID is in. So let's see desktop. Let's do desktop. No, not in desktop. It is in documents, right? It is in documents. Documents. And it's not even in documents. Where do I have kept it? So let us see. It is in Word. Okay, so it is an Apache folder, right? It is in Apache folder. So let me go there. Um, right. Now see, I have all these files in here, which is the files in here as well, right? And if I say like git log hyphen p, I could see the same changes which I was seeing in here, right? So obviously these tools are separate. They can work independently, but it could work together in an IDE, which is the integrated development environment, which is the software. Okay, this is the software, right? Now the thing is, for this case, like this ID is called VS Code. So if I like go to like help and about, right? If I see this ID is called Visual Studio Code. So this is one type of IDE. Okay, this is one type of IDE, right? This is one type of IDE. Again, I'm getting the problem for this. Okay. Okay. Uh, we have understood this part. Let's go back to the slides again. Okay. So that is what ID is. Okay. That is what ID is. Other things which you can like figure it out is like what are libraries? It is a collection of classes which contains functions and variables for the sake of reusability. They can be used individually and should be should be configured to work together. Okay, they can be used individually and should be configured to work together. So that is one of the things which we have to like remember in here. So when you're talking about library, okay, when you're talking about library, um, A library is something like a piece of code which you can reuse in other places. So even in even in this code base, okay, even in this code base, I'm using certain kind of libraries in here. So suppose let's say um, this is my page, right? This is my page, and the library which I'm using. Let's say this library, or let's say this library. Okay, so it is. I'm importing this library. I'm importing this library. So Bootstrap input spinner. Okay, so let's see what is it. And so this is actually basically these are what these are pre-written. These are pre-written codes. Okay, these are pre-written codes which I can use. All right, so let's see. Bootstrap input spinner, where it is. It's in JS Bootstrap. Okay, so it's this one, right? So like this is basically what a library is. There are a lot of functions and classes written in it. There are a lot of functions and classes written in it, and we can use these functions and classes for your we can use these functions and classes for our benefit of like developing any software or any programs, right? So we can use these functions and classes. These are what libraries are. Okay, libraries, yes, that is what library is. Now, the next thing which we need to learn is about the interpreter. So, interpreter is a software which executes the code line by line without actually converting the source code into machine language. Okay, so now we have to like understand what is an interpreter. So, the practical example of like showing the interpreter at work is like simply like I will just pull out a terminal here. Okay, I will just pull out a terminal here. Uh, yes, this terminal, right? So, interpreter. If you want to look at the interpreter, it's like this. Okay, do not fire. This is Python. Python is not there. Hmm, Python is not there. Let's install the Python, okay? Maybe it is Python 3. Let's see. Python, oh yeah, it is Python 3. Right. So like if this is the interpreter, okay? This is the interpreter. So if I like say print hi, if I say the print hi, let's see if it works or not. So it prints hi, right? It prints hi. So this is an interpreter. Interpreter, what the interpreter does, this is a Python interpreter basically. So this interpreter does is like it checks one command at a time and like executes that command one at a time, right? So suppose if I like give as a Python 3, if I get enter, right? It starts with like this prompt here, right? It starts with this prompt. Let me maximize this. It starts with this prompt. Okay. So Python 3.1.3, it gives this information and all these information for us to read. Now let's suppose if I want to add like 2 plus 2. Okay. So that was an error. 2 plus 2. Okay, I add this. So I get 4 in here, right? And this error is also like we cannot assign a literal to another literal. So that is one of the things which is showing in here, right? But yeah, so we can basically what we can do like we can utilize the interpreter to like write programs which interpret that language line by line. Okay, so we can do that. Okay, so we can do that. All right. So let's see. And like suppose if you want to print something, like printing hello world, hello world. We can print that. Yes, we can print that. So this is basically an interpreter. So interpreter, we can use it through this mode also. Like there are various ways to use the interpreter, but this is basically an example of a interpreter. Okay. This is an example of a interpreter, right? Let me switch it off. Right. Now there is the assembler. Okay. Now assembler is something which is like assembles your assembly language. Okay. So let's see what assembler can I have in here. Let's okay. Let me maximize this. Okay, so assembler, it is a software which converts the instruction instructions written in assembly language to a portable machine language. So that is the definition of the assembler, right? That is the definition which I have written for the assembler. Now, when we are talking about, it is a software which like converts the instruction written in assembly language to a portable machine language. What I'm talking about is like this, load. So suppose if you are like talking about assembly language, right? And let's see, assembly example of assembly language and IP86. Okay, he says this. Mm, right. So this is an article. So yeah, this is an example of an assembly language. Okay, this is an example of an assembly language, right? This is an example of assembly language. So if you can see this language, it is very complex in here, right? It is very complex in here. And we can use this basically we can use this assembly language to compile a binary language code which will run on the system, right? We can use that. Now the thing is, uh, to, uh, to like compile, not compile, to assemble this assembly language into binary language, we have to use an assembler. Basically, that is what we have to use. We have to use an assembler. Okay, so like let's see. um, let's install NASM. Okay, let's install NASM and see how it works. So let's see, terminal. Okay, so uh, like NASM is one example of assembler. Okay, so that is what I'm installing. Okay, that's what I'm installing. It will take a little bit of time, but it will. It is very small. It is very small. It will not take that much of a time to like install the things. Okay, we have installed it. Right. Uh, let's see. Let's go to the documents again, right? And make a folder of like ASM example. Okay. And we will like go to the ASM example. We'll go to that ASM example and we will write down as test dot ASM. Right. We have this now, and we will now test this basic hello world. Um, can I copy this? Maybe I cannot. Let me see. Inspect. Okay, I cannot copy this. Anyways, so if I cannot copy this, let's see. Yeah, I cannot copy this. This is a lot. Okay, so I have to like go through the hoops to actually copy that code. But anyways, so yeah, this is basically what ASM, sorry, assembler looks like. Okay, this is what an assembler looks like. I wonder if they have given some code to like no copy or not. Let's see. Virginia, let's see, if Virginia, let's see if it works or not in there. Mm. So this is details of how to work with assembly language. Like, the concept is very tough, but yeah, that is what an assembler is. I will show you. Maybe I will show you like how to work with assembly in the later classes, like outside this course. But we do not have to look into this. Okay. Now the next thing is the compiler. The compiler is what? A compiler is a software which converts the source code of a high-level language into machine language. Okay. The compiler converts the source code written in like high-level language into machine language. Okay. Now, when you're talking about machine languages, right? Machine language is what? It is a binary language. For our case, machine language is a uh, machine language is a binary language, right? Machine language is a binary language. So we have to understand that machine language is a binary language, and it will comes with zeros and ones. Okay, it comes in zeros and ones. So that is what we know for now. Now there are actually like other other kind of machine languages, which is the ternary language. Now, which that was not explored, like that was not researched properly, or it was basically abandoned in between. The research was abandoned in between by the Russian researchers. But now, like technically, if you're talking about machine languages, a ternary machine language is really much more efficient, right? Now, but right now what we are using is we are using a binary language as a machine language. So what does a compiler does is it converts the source code from a high level language to a machine level language. Okay, so the best example you could say is like let's say we have GCC in here, right? GCC, yeah, we have GCC in here. So like the best example you could have is like of a compiler is the GNUC compiler, which is the GCC. Okay, GNUC compiler. So this is an example of a compiler. Okay, this is an example of a compiler. The GCC, this is the example of a compiler. So if you like, let's see, that we are in ASM example, right? So if you're talking about uh, uh, compilers, how the compilers work, I will show you this in an action. Okay, I'll show you this in action. So let's see, and let's make directories. The example, the example, right? Vi hello world. Okay, so forgotten how to use C at this point. It has been so long to like I haven't used C for a long time. Okay, let me see. Yeah, so I could still remember how to like program in C. Um, I will not take any arguments for this, and I will like uh, this is hard to look at, right? This is hard to look at. You just put one N in here as well, right? Let's see if it works or not. So if I like try to compile this, you will see hello world. Let's see I can output as hello world. Yeah, that is what I was thinking. Like maybe this was wrong. There shouldn't be dot. Okay, actually, I think it is just stdio, and I. Mm, okay, let's see. Let me figure this out as well. stdio setup. stdio.h. Okay. And now I remember. Now I remember. So it is stdio.h, not std.io. It is stdio.h. All the header files end with .h extension. Okay. I am remembering now. I'm remembering now. Okay. Good to see. Now if you compile this, I'm missing one more thing in here. One more error in here, right? I'm doing one more error in here. Let's see. I missed the termination in here. Let's see. Okay. For like I've been teaching Python for so long, I've been totally out of touch with C. Anyways, we are going back to C. Okay, now we have compiled this. Okay, we have compiled this. So if we like run this compiled hello world, we will see like it will give you hello world. Okay. So this is an example of a compiler. This is an example of a compiler, GCC compiler. That is what the thing is in here. Okay, right. Compiler you have seen as compiler. Now what next we have? Have I made anything else? Okay, now. So that is one thing. I think I could takes a few more time to explain like as in what is the assembler. Okay. So let's see. Assembly X assembly x86. Hello world. Okay. Let's try to do this. Hello world and this one. So let's try his code. This notable person, let's try his code. Okay, so this is the hello world assembly language. Okay, very complex, obviously. So we will utilize this. Okay, we will utilize this. Right, we will utilize this. We are in C directory, right? So we have to go to ASM example. Yes, ASM example. All right, and then we have to like, oh, there's nothing in here. So hello.asm. We're going to write in this file. Right, we are going to file in spelling of it wrong. Should be hello. Okay. And we are going to like just paste the clipboard in here. Okay, so we have some kind of a, yeah, we have a x86 hello world, right? If you like compile this, if you compile this assembly language into, let's say, uh, yes, let's see, let's compile this. Okay, let's compile this. Very good. Okay, uh, paste selection, hello.asm. Okay, it compiled. We got hello.o. Okay, we got hello.o, which is a binary, which is a binary. And then we apply it to a linker itself. Like this is the link, LD is a linker. I'll explain the concepts of linker later on, but like directly you cannot run assembly without a linker, proper linker. Okay, we do this. And then, yeah, and then we will like print a hello, right? We'll print a hello. So see hello if it prints or not. Right, so it prints hello world. So there are more further steps in like compiling a hello world through assembly language because it's an assembly language. You have to like link it with a linker and other thing, right? So that you have to do. Okay, that you have to do. Anyways, so that is how you will do assembly language. So writing a hello world in assembly language is pretty difficult. Like this much you have to write for an hello world in the assembly language in x86 assembly. Okay, which is basically your Intel assembly. x86 is like your Intel assembly. Right. So that is the assembler. Yeah, NASM is like one of the examples of the assembler. Okay. Okay. Hopefully you like this. Like the videos in this one was not that much, um, let's say that much entertaining. But yeah, uh, I'll continue on with the next topic in the next video.